show.
Are the Thunder in deep, deep trouble? And did Jamal Murray just save the Nuggets season?
Is LA the most appealing head coaching gig available? What series is most likely to go 7? What's been the surprise of the playoffs so far?
And we debate which team has the best chance of tying up their series tonight.
It's Wednesday, April 17th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm Jay Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis. We got the Ozzy Lee Ellis, and over yonder, that's the bearded one. That's Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo!
Hey-yo! Trey, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, we know Nikola Jokic is one of the best passing big men of all time, but last night he handed out an assist of a different kind when his teammate Gary Harris took a shot down below the belt and didn't know what to do to feel better. After trying the deep squat move, which is surprisingly popular, you can see Jokic showing Harris what he does to get things sorted out. According to Nuggets reporter Katie Winch, Harris said it actually helped a little. That right there is true friendship. And it brings us to today's question. What is your favorite NBA friendship assist? For instance, who can forget Ricky Rubio giving Alexei Shved the sweetest pep talk in NBA history?
Alexei, change this face. Be happy. Enjoy it.
Still so beautiful, but we want to hear from you. So let us know on Twitter, what is your favorite NBA friendship assist? Send them to us at hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get your tweets in. On tonight's show, Trey and I step into the crossfire. We'll look ahead to tonight's 3 games on the schedule, 40 games in 40 nights. Everybody knows that. We got a very solid play, but let's start with a little true or false. It's the playoffs edition, looking back at some of last night's action. Trey.
Things were all tied at halftime of Game 2 between the Blazers and Thunder, and then Portland went off. Damian Lillard hit a couple of threes. Steph Curry added 3 more. Even Myers Leonard hit one. Next thing you know, the Blazers had outscored the Thunder by 20 in the half to take a 2-0 lead as the series heads to OKC. True or false? The Thunder are in deep trouble.
They're in trouble. I don't know how deep it is, but they are definitely in trouble because both these teams rely on their stars, and the Blazers' stars have been better. CJ McCollum is healthier than we expect him to be, but Damian Lillard has been incredible. The offense, amazing. Deep threes, but I'm really a bit more impressed with that defense on Russell Westbrook, really getting into him. This personal beef that they've had, he has really taken it personally. And since Russell Westbrook in January said, I've been busting that ace for years, well, Damian Lillard has been busting the ace the other way. He's been kicking butt. Yeah, they lost the last 2 regular season games against the Thunder, but he is making the turnovers happen against Russ in these first 2 games. And I think that defense is just rubbing off on everybody because he's not known for his defense at all, but he's sparking his team to victories. And I think in the second quarter there, when Paul George did his little taunt and Russell Westbrook did his taunt in the first quarter, I think the Blazers realized that. They shouldn't have been taunting up 8, 10 points. It got up to 10 points when Paul George did his here.
Is that why Lillard came up with a new taunt later on?
What was the taunt later on?
Bombs away.
After the bombs away, he did like a little bird fly.
Yeah, it's great. But the Thunder are counting their chickens before they're hatched.
Lillard's got that sort of crazy look in his face right now where he's actually totally calm and in control, which is always the most scariest because he's not getting caught up in these little beefs here with Russell Westbrook, and he's led his team to 2 very, very impressive and very important victories. I wouldn't say the Thunder are in deep trouble yet. Obviously, Game 3 is a must-win, but they go home now, and they haven't been terrible this entire series. They've had some bad moments, and they've been outplayed, and other guys for the Blazers have gotten hot. But if you are the Thunder, you've got to go home and go, okay, Paul George, maybe he's a little bit injured. He's not too bad. Westbrook has to play better, and they have to start hitting some threes. If they can do that and they win Game 3 and perhaps even Game 4, then they're right back in this series. So I don't think they're in deep trouble, but I don't think a lot of people expected Portland to be up 2 games after the first 2, even though they've been at home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I actually got to keep reminding myself that the Blazers are the home team. They're the 3 seed in this matchup. And part of that is probably because a lot of us all here and a lot of people out there, picked the Thunder to win this series. So it feels a little odd. But I'm struggling to find a positive from these 2 games with OKC. You brought up the stars. They're being outclassed by the Blazers' 2 guards. Look at the role players, too. I mean, they can't hit a 3. Ferguson, Grant, Schroeder, they're not hitting shots. These role players have to step up a little bit. And when you look at the other side, you've got the Blazers. It was Cantor in Game 1, really dominant. And then in Game 2, Curry hitting threes. Harkless starting obviously with that crew, but he had 14 points. Leonard off the bench. Like, guys are chipping in for the Blazers. And the Thunder just have no one else. I mean, we can say Westbrook, 5 for 20, Paul George a little banged up. They got to get some help from some of these other guys. And then the coaching thing. One thing, I don't understand the game plan here with OKC. Did they watch the series last year when the Pelicans swept the Blazers? Where they got the ball out of Lillard and McCollum's hands as much as possible. Make anyone else beat you. Make Mo Harkless beat you. They're not really doing that. And now, credit to Lillard and McCollum. They figured out ways. They're moving the ball a little bit quicker. They're splitting the D. I get that when the double comes. But they're not really forcing it out of their hands all that much. It's a little too easy,
Well,
it feels
Lillard's
like.
shooting it basically as soon as he steps over.
Hey,
half
yeah,
court.
35 feet is tough to guard. I get that, but I don't understand that at all. I think that's an adjustment. They got to be a little more aggressive. And Paul George, they're hiding him on guys that are not really that much of a threat on the Blazers side of the ball. He should be always on one of those guys defensively, always.
Yeah, but I don't think he's right, and that's not an excuse by any means, but they're throwing him down in the post on the offensive end, and he doesn't really look all that comfortable. His numbers are fine from game 2.
Yeah.
He had 27. Good numbers, but there's 5 turnovers, and the dribble isn't all that tight right now. He doesn't look, when you put him in that post because he often has mismatches, it just doesn't look right. And they're putting him down there because the three-point shot isn't working. You know, he's 3 of 15 through his first 2 games. He's got to shoot incredibly well from the three-point line if those others
Well,
aren't
he's their
shooting
best
well.
three-point shooter. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
right. But somebody else has to hit a corner 3 once in a while here. All right, Trey, next one.
Through 3 quarters of game 2, Jamal Murray was 0 of 8 from the field and scored just 3 points from the free throw line. But then Murray was present, making 8 straight shots on his way to scoring 21 in the 4th quarter of a massive game 2 win for Denver. Guys, true or false? Jamal Murray saved the Nuggets season.
True, and how much fun was it watching him in that 4th quarter? This guy struggled through 7 quarters of this series, couldn't hit a shot, didn't look comfortable, was taking bad shots and just shots that showed that he was a rookie. And then all of a sudden, he couldn't miss no matter what he did.
They were the same type of shots, though. That's the funny part.
I mean,
they
if
were
you're-
still sort of bad shots. They were just going in.
No, exactly. If you're Mike Malone on the side, that's as a classic, no, great shot a couple of times, but it just shows as well that's the type of player Murray is. Once he gets going, once he feels that confidence in himself, he's the sort of guy who feels he can make any shot at any time. He was obviously brilliant in that 4th quarter, but Paul Millsap was the one who could have kept them going in that first half that didn't let that lead from San Antonio get out of control too much. So Jamal Murray certainly gets the headlines today because of the highlight reel stuff, but that experience of Paul Millsap in the first half, I think, is very, very important.
I would agree with that. That's actually why I say false here, that Murray saved the Nuggets season. I think you go to the 3rd quarter. Millsap was great in the first half. You're right about that. But in the 3rd quarter, Gay had an and one. He hit the free throw, and the Spurs were up 19. With like less than 5 minutes to go in the quarter. This game looked over, and the series looked over as San Antonio's up 2-0 going back home. But then you had Jokic making plays. You had Gary Harris hitting shots. And slowly but surely, over those last 4.5 minutes of that 3rd quarter, they had cut it to a very manageable 7.
Yeah.
And then Murray took over and caught fire in the 4th quarter. But I think without Gary Harris hitting shots, Beasley hit one late in the second half, 2 threes actually in the second half. Jokic, facilitating and hitting some threes. If they don't do all of that, those little things there to sort of make it a more manageable deficit, then it doesn't matter if Murray goes off. So I'm actually going to say false, oddly.
Well, their season was on the line in that 3rd quarter. Backs against the wall. They showed up. Jamal Murray checked in a couple minutes left in that 3rd quarter, missed another shot.
Yeah.
Michael Malone easily could have said, Isaiah Thomas, get in here in the 4th quarter, because he hadn't hit a shot in the 4th quarter. So give some credit to Malone, saying, Jamal, you're our guy. You got blue shoes on. You should be pretty confident out there. He made all that stuff happen in that 4th quarter. And it was odd because it was the same sort of shots, but he's just too talented. And finally, this is probably a good sign going forward for him, because hopefully he just got that monkey off his back. Because again, those are his first 7 quarters of his playoff career.
Yeah, find someone that believes in you like Coach Malone believes in Jamal Murray. Kitchener's finest, by the way, Jamal Murray. All right, Trey, final one.
It wasn't game 1, so the Raptors were balling in last night's game 2 win, and the MVP, most ballinest player, no doubt, was Kawhi Leonard, who went for 37 points and 15 of 22 shooting, while generally looking like the kind of guy who was the youngest finals MVP in history. True or false? This is why the Raptors traded for Kawhi.
Yeah.
Round 1, game 2.
Wow, hold on. False. Yeah, exactly. They didn't trade for Kawhi to try and beat the Magic in the first round. I mean, this was an unbelievable performance.
Well, they needed him to beat the Magic.
They need this in the conference finals if they get there, in the finals if they ever get there. But yeah, he was great. I thought Gasol was just equally as important in the win because it was the defense. Kawhi was money, couldn't miss a shot, it felt like. But it was the defense that won the Raptors this game right from the get-go. They pounded out, jumped to a 16-2 lead, and just played great ball defensively all night long, and Gasol was a huge part of it. He had 4 steals, a bunch of deflections. Like this trade, right? That was an important trade, getting Marc Gasol in there, because as a big, he's totally taken Vucevic out of this series.
That's the real
He's the
thing,
all-star for
yeah.
the Magic, and he's barely scored in the series.
Yeah, they're doubling him. Vucevic has got to get some more pick and pops to get Marc Gasol moving a little bit, because Gasol's got great hands. But if you move him a little bit more, maybe he shows that age. That being said, Kawhi Leonard was the most important player on the Toronto Raptors yesterday. And kudos to Nick Nurse, because Kawhi got 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, and you could have easily taken him off the floor. But he knows that Kawhi Leonard's averaged only 2 fouls per 36 minutes in his career, so you can trust him going forward. Yeah. And he had 10 points in that first Q after those two quick fouls, 1 off this steal. Great defensively, and he was literally a robot offensively. He couldn't be stopped. He got to his spots every single play. So yes, this is the guy that they traded for. Those 37 points, I mean, it could have been 50 if it was a close game.
It certainly helped that Kyle Lowry could hit a shot too in this one. And what a different player he was from game 1 to game 2. Just stepping into those shots, hitting shots early, and giving Toronto some more offense. I mean, obviously Kawhi was the best player, but without those 22 points from Kyle, then all that more pressure comes on Kawhi having to score as well as defend.
Yeah, great game from the Raptors, all tied up at 1 game apiece as that series moves to Orlando later this week, Friday night. When we come back, though, we move over into the Crossfire section of the studio. Trey and I go head-to-head, debating the biggest playoff surprise so far.
Gonna bust that ace.
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Welcome to Crossfire, that used to be presented by Teeso. 3 rounds to determine who is taking home the belt. Round number 1. We overreact to each and every game here during the postseason, but let's think a little big picture. Which series is most likely to go all the way to 7 games? Here we go.
It's got to be the Nuggets and the Spurs. Through 2 games, it's the closest series we've got so far. Just 4 points separating the 2 teams. It seems like neither the Nuggets nor the Spurs is going to be able to blow the other team out. Neither team has one player that's guaranteed to single-handedly drag them to a win. The Spurs already beat the Nuggets in Denver, but the Nuggets haven't beaten the Spurs in San Antonio since 2012. That's Chekhov's win streak. It's got to end eventually, right?
I really do like that pick, but I'm going to go with the Blazers-Thunder series, despite the Blazers being up 2-0, winning both games at home. I know it sounds a little weird, but you got to figure the role players for OKC are going to play better at home. Maybe somebody actually hits a 3. That'll help. And then you got the stars in Westbrook and Paul George. They need to outplay Dame and McCollum, and I think they can do that in OKC. I could still see it going 7. I can still see it going 7 despite Portland's quick start.
All right. There are 30 head coaching jobs in the NBA, but only 3 are currently unoccupied. The Lakers, the Cavs, and the Grizzlies. Of those 3, which is the most appealing head coaching job? Here we go.
Little Depends a little bit how you define appealing, but I do think it is the Lakers' job for a couple of reasons. It's the Lakers franchise. It's a little sexier than the Grizzlies and Cavs. No offense
like wearing
to
purple.
those fan bases. But Magic's gone, and yeah, you got to coach LeBron, and they haven't been in the postseason in a long time, but those can be sort of positives too. Bar's a little low, you get a veteran coach in there, and you have LeBron, you got pretty good chances to get to the playoffs at
Yeah,
least.
the Lakers have LeBron. They already have their head coach. That's why it's the least appealing for me. You don't even get to put your own stamp on the team. That's why it's got to be the Grizzlies. Who knows what happens this summer? As of now, though, they've got Mike Conley, who is a chill, coachable, competitive local legend. They've also got Jaren Jackson Jr., a future star in this league. There are no expectations in Memphis, but there is barbecue, and there is Bongo Lady, and there is Lang Whitaker. Give me to Memphis.
Not a lot of wins probably though for a while.
Marketing idea, make that Grizzly a little sexier, perhaps. All right, we got DJ Augustine and Landry Shamet hitting game winners. 31-point comebacks. The Jazz guarding James Harden's back. We have seen some surprising things so far this postseason, but what has been the most shocking of them all? Here we go.
Missing Yusuf Nurkic hasn't been a problem for the Blazers at all, and I would not have guessed that. In the first game, Enes Kanter went out and wasn't just good for Enes Kanter. He was straight up great. 20 points, 18 rebounds, good passing, good defense in a win. He was banged up in game 2, so Myers Leonard stepped in. hit a three, played some defense. He was looking as good as his hair always looks. The Blazers have gotten 2 good games from their centers. Wouldn't have bet on that.
My biggest playoff surprise, it's a little personal, but it's that my game 1 curse, it doesn't infect other teams. Because I have flown home to Toronto to watch a lot of games 1s, and they've lost all the time. Well, I was in Boston on Sunday watching game 1 Pacers-Celtics, and the Celtics won. My goodness. The other surprise, Larry Bird was sitting right next to me. Right there. I could reach out and touch him, though his security guard would have slapped me. But that was a surprise. My game 1 curse doesn't affect other people.
Wow, great battle. But the winner, because I want to sit with him at a playoff game, is Jerry Ski.
You, me, and Larry Bird, Tass. We're going to another game. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll discuss which team has the best chance of tying up their series tonight. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the starters. Time to play a little fill in the blank. Let's get into it. There's another 3 game 2s on the schedule tonight. Pacers and Celtics kick things off at 7 p.m. Eastern on TNT. They're followed by the Jazz and Rockets at 9:30 at 8 p.m. Eastern. The Bucks host the Pistons right here on NBA TV. Guys, all 3 visiting teams lost game 1, so fill in the blank. The team most likely to get a road win tonight is blank.
Yeah, I'm cheating here. I'm going with the grimacing face emoji. I don't feel good about any of these road teams' chances tonight, I guess is what I'm getting at. The Pacers or the Pistons or even the Jazz. If I had to pick someone, I guess the Jazz are the best team of the bunch, but they got waxed in game 1. Maybe they've got a different game plan here for game 2, but I don't feel good about any of their chances.
Yes, go with those Utah Jazz. Go with your
talk
gut.
me into it.
The game plan will definitely be different. Hey, this team was great defensively all season long, especially against the Houston Rockets. Nobody in the Western Conference played them better, so stop guarding James Harden's back. That's going to change tonight, undoubtedly. And what's more important is that James Harden, historically, hasn't been good in game 2s as he has been in game 1s. And there's a significant drop-off. I got into the stats, and his field goal percentage and three-point percentage drop off significantly from game 1s to game 2s. Now, in game 1, he had a real easy game 1, so maybe he comes out game 2 and pops a 45 because he didn't have to work so hard because he was playing 5-on-4. We shall see.
Yeah, will be interesting to see what happens tonight. I'm going with the Pacers for 2 reasons. One, they had 1 good half and 1 bad half against Boston.
One very, very bad half.
Very, very bad. And also, Al Horford is questionable going into tonight's game with an illness. So even if he plays, he might not be 100%. Yeah. And Al Horford is just so incredibly important to everything that Boston does. So if he's not playing or if he's in some way not 100%, then there's no reason why Indiana can't keep this one close and then hopefully pull out a victory at the end there, because they were very good in that first half. I don't know what happened in the second half. It was the curve. It was the skeety curve.
I was there. I was in attendance. I got an ugly game. It was 84-74.
Yeah.
That was the problem, though. I mean, the Pacers, they had a good half. It's putting it, I don't know. That's a little too kindly because they didn't really. It was just that the Celtics were even more brutal in that first half. And I think the Celtics, because in the regular season, they put up like 130 plus on them, 114, 117. And to win an 84-74 game, I don't think we're going to see that again tonight. It's going to be a little more open.
Time. Maybe it was 84-74.
No, I was there, Lee. I was talking to Larry Bird.
Oh, right,
Exactly right. All right, Trey, what's our next one here?
All right, after missing 4 of the Pistons' final 7 regular season games, Blake Griffin's troublesome left knee kept him out of Game 1's blowout loss to the Bucks. But Blake says if it was up to him, he'd play, and his coach, Dwayne Casey, said hopefully Blake comes back tonight for Game 2, though he's still listed as questionable right now. Fill in the blank, guys. Blake playing in this series means blank.
This is what it means.
Whoa.
Blank. It means nothing.
Blank Griffin.
It's unfortunate for Blake. He is playing the best ball of his career, but he's not healthy. Yeah. And the Pistons without Blake are what they were in Game 1. Even if he comes out there and is playing on one leg, he missed so much at the end of the season. It's just not Blake right now.
Yeah, I went probably not much because I just don't think he can impact this series. Even if he's 100% healthy, I don't think the Pistons can win this series. Maybe they can steal a game or two, but it's very, very hard to see how Detroit keeps this even close tonight if Blake's not there, and even if he is there, I think the Bucks are going to steamroll.
We're all on the same wavelength here. Yeah. I went very little. We got to zoom in there. Very, very little if Blake plays in this series.
It's like an eye chart.
Just echoing everything you guys are saying. Look, they're a better team when he plays.
Yeah.
Much, much better. But when he is not out there, their offense would have been the worst in the league. Yep. Worse than the Knicks, dead last. They just have no one to facilitate anything on that squad. But even if he's healthy, he's not going to be 100%. And yeah, you're playing a 60-win Bucks team, who, by the way, they're trying to win a playoff series. I think this is an important part. They're not going to take this lightly. They're not going to be like, oh, whatever, we'll just chill out for a half and we'll get it done. I don't see them having that mentality with Giannis as the leader and with a squad that, again, has plans to go very far, but just really wants to start by winning a playoff series. So they want to, kick them while they're down. So tough break here for the Pistons fans and for Blake, of course, but I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, and it's strange to say that their starting power forward is their playmaker, but he absolutely does make everything happen. Maybe Tim Hardaway, the old Tim Hardaway Sr., can come off the bench and play 20 minutes. Playmake.
Yeah, why not? All right, we got to take one more break. When we come back, we got Lily's very solid play. Had some good ones to pick from last night, Lee. A little bit better than the night before. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Starters. We asked you, what's your favorite friendship assist on the basketball floor? Maybe off. You hit us up on Twitter, #the Starters. Trey, what do you got?
Yeah, we're starting off the court. Brennan says the Banana Boat crew sticking together through the years. We gotta see him on a boat again, though. That'd be great. Also nice is from Emil, who says that time when Draymond Green caught Klay Thompson while in the air to avoid falling badly. That's a good grab, but the best answer, no doubt, comes from Sam Uono, who says giving your teammate a ride to work every day. Views from the cruise, y'all.
That's right. Periscope every morning. Me and Trey, our 10-minute ride into work.
Yeah, no traffic this morning.
All right, Lily, VSP.
We're going up to Toronto. It's a nice one here from the Orlando Magic. They didn't get a lot going early offensively, but this is why they finally started scoring. They moved that ball around, and with it, Aaron Gordon. Wish bomb for three. Here it is again. Simple. Just move that ball. Move those feet. Hit that shot. Ball goes in.
So simple.
Very simple, very effective. That's what I call a very solid play.
Good stuff. We also have a fan sign, Lee.
We do. It's from Brent Ferrari, who says, I think you missed our sign a few weeks ago with an update on our starters bump. I know you're not afraid of the challenge. I think he wants to have a celebrity 4-on-4 game in Chicago at the All-Star game next season.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that
Yeah.
All-Star 2020 is in Chicago. We're going home, Trey. You're going home, man.
All right, I'm ditching you guys. Hanging out with this crew.
All right, thanks, Brent Ferrari. Also, great name. Tonight, 3 games. Pacers Celtics gets us started at 7 p.m. Eastern on TNT, followed by Jazz Rockets. And in between that, I like the stagger in here. On NBA TV, we got the Pistons and Bucks. Those are all game 2s. Celtics, Bucks, and Rockets lead the series. That's it for us tonight. We're back tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Jumping around here because of the playoff schedule, but we'll see you then. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And remember, Tim Hardaway is not an assistant coach on the Detroit Pistons.
You lied to us.
Live fact check.
Why don't you call me?
Brace the night, people.